Hi, I'm Jessica Ann Pressler, licensed clinical social worker and hospice social worker, coming to you from the West Coast. Although it does look like we're in the same room, we are one of those fake backgrounds. But hi, Sylvia, how are you?
Hi, Jessica. My name is Sylvia. I'm a registered nurse and faith-based coach and mentor coming to you from the East Coast. If you like our video content, please hit the like and subscribe button to our YouTube channels. So today we will be discussing what your blog for this week. Your blog for this week is titled "Holidays and Mental Health," and particularly we're talking about grieving during the holidays. And I have to say that this is one of my favorite blogs. Just everything that you wrote in it and how real this is and true this is. You know, so many people are grieving throughout the year, and it may feel like a heightened thing during the holidays. I love that you wrote that it can feel like you're on a roller coaster ride where, you know, the roller coaster, and this would be the emotions and the grieving process. You go up and down and all around and then, you know, go back again. And how you express that this is okay to have these feelings and these emotions, and the importance of being kind to yourself for going through the grieving process and having these feelings. Can you elaborate more on that, Jess?
Well, as you said, there's no right or wrong feeling, and people's feelings can be all over the place. One minute you're
Right.
devastated and feel like rolling up into a ball, and the next minute
Mm-hmm.
you could see something, a memory, and you smile and you're happy, and then you feel guilty for being happy sometimes. And then the next minute you're angry because you feel like, how come you don't have your spouse during this holiday, or you don't have your child during this holiday, and it's not fair, and how come this has happened to you? And then the next minute you want to see your friends and have them wrap their arms around you, and then the next minute you want to be alone, and you could be all over the place. And just when you feel like you're doing okay, you could take 10 steps back. And I always want to caution people that you can take 10 steps back, and it could be even a year later, but that you're going to go forward again. And if you ever at a point where you take 10 steps back and you don't feel like you're going forward again, there are people out there that love you, or professional people who want to care about you, and surround yourself by those compassionate people. You don't have to do this alone, but there's no right or wrong feeling. And with every grieving situation, it could be different. With every person that passes away, it could be different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all new. It's all new territory, and to be
Right,
understanding and compassionate to yourself and what you're going through.
right, right. And you discuss how there could be these spontaneous, we'll call them triggers,
Right.
that will just seem to come out of nowhere.
Well,
Um,
I remember one of the triggers that people spoke about in the bereavement groups that I would run, which surprised me until I understood it myself and went through my own
right,
losses, and of course heard it many times, is the grocery store. And sometimes it would be from a spouse who said, you know, they would go shopping every week normally, and they would buy food for their spouse as well as themselves. And all of a sudden now they get slapped in the face. And sometimes they may let's say their spouse loves chicken, and they would put chicken into their basket, and then it's like a knife in their heart, and they'd be, oh my God, I guess I don't need this anymore, and take it out.
yeah,
And it's just these surprising triggers, and some of them are holidays, which are the more obvious triggers.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I know also from my own personal loss experience, I lost my grandmother in 2011. And sometimes still I'm driving and I spontaneously, you know, like think of, oh, I'm going to call her, or, you know, like
Right. Those are hard. Mm.
yeah. And then I have to come back to the realization that, well, she's not with us here anymore.
Sometimes I
And
feel
it's
like
just,
though it's like a being told again that the person passed away. For that moment, it's
yeah,
like you're being hit with the immediate knowledge again.
it certainly feels that way, because that kind of like comes down on, like, wow, and for that moment of like, oh, I'm going to call her. And it was like, it just felt so great that I'm going to call her, totally forgetting that I can't call her.
Right.
Yeah. And I can attest, it comes out of nowhere.
So then let's talk about holidays then. So you're used to
Yeah.
seeing your grandmother at the holidays. She was the one that cooked for everyone. She's the one
Right.
that sat at a certain seat at the table. And
Hmm.
now all of a sudden you go to holidays and she's not there anymore. And it's just, again, like a night can feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, and then again, it can happen at any time, and it's okay. And, and it's okay to take the time that you need, and take a step back if you need to, whatever feels like the right thing to do.
So it's okay.
So what,
Piggyback. I'm sorry. Go on.
no, so I was going to say, so what would, you say are some of the helpful things that we can do, anyone going through a grieving process like this?
So being mindful of your feelings,
Hmm.
understand your feelings, and be caring, compassionate to yourself about how you're feeling. So if you were planned to go to a party and you're getting ready to go and you just say like, I just can't do this today. I just um, call that person, say no. It's okay to say no
Right.
to people. I can't go to the holiday party. It's just going to be too much for me today, and I hope that that person would understand. Or if you could plan on doing things, but let yourself say no, let yourself back out, last minute.
Hmm.
It's okay. Or if you find that you're isolating too much, then maybe push yourself a little bit to go, but go and say hi and leave. You don't have to stay. Do things that are comfortable for you.
Right.
And know that your feelings will change from time to time, and you can explain that to people. I
Right.
don't know, my feelings are all over the place. Please understand. I don't know how I'm going to feel tomorrow. I want to go to your party during the holidays or this event, but I may not be able to go. uh, be caring and compassionate, self-care. Make sure that you're seeing doctors, because especially if you were a caregiver during this time, or during the grief process, you may not be taking care of yourself physically. Make sure you're going to all your regular checkups. Make sure that if you need to see a psychotherapist or a faith-based counselor or any, some sort of professional support, that you go to that, and call friends. I think that people really do want to help, and I think people don't know what to say or don't know how to let you know they want to help. But I
Right.
do think people do. So, let your friend know that you need them during this
Right.
time.
Yeah. And you also, gave some, just helpful things to do, like, talk about the person. Let family and friends know that it's okay, if you feel that it's okay to talk about the person, and, celebrate memories or whatever.
So one of the things that my grieving, the people that I were helping after their loved ones passed away, was they would say to me, I want to talk about my loved ones. And when I see people
Hmm.
and everyone's so, quiet, they don't say their name, they don't recognize them, they ignore like they ever existed. And I want to talk about them. Now, that's not true for everybody, but there are many people that do, because they did exist. So some of my recommendations during the holidays, if that's what that person wants, again, it's personal. It's so you set the table for that person, or you make their favorite dish during the holiday, or you talk about them, you ask everyone to share a memory, or you look through pictures of them during the holiday, you tell stories about them. It seems that, again, it's personal, but it seems that there are many people out there that do want to have some sort of connection to them during the holiday. And
Hmm.
if that's how you feel, then then that would be one way. Oh, another one that I loved, that I read about, actually, something I hadn't done myself, but is
Hmm.
making a quilt of
Oh.
a person, and you could use their clothing. You could use some of their favorite pictures of their favorite places, or things that you collected over the years with that person. And if you do it with a family, everyone could contribute something. That seemed to
Right.
be a really nice idea.
Yeah. I love that. That's really nice, and very personal.
very
you
personal.
know.
And then, of course, writing
Um,
a letter to your loved one is an idea.
mhm,
Poems, stories. Yeah, there's so many things that you could do. Visiting their grave during this time,
right,
visiting their favorite place during this time. Sometimes these things may be too painful if it's very close to when they passed away, but at some
right,
point it could be a nice tradition. Again, it's very personal, no right or wrong
right,
idea. Just putting these out there.
right. Yeah. No right or wrong, and it's okay, to do it at the time frame and that feels right. Um, yeah, I love all of these. As I said, it's one of my favorite of your blogs. And again, if you haven't read it, go check it out at jessicaannpressler.com. This one and so many of other ones are on there. Um, and then you talked also about like setting realistic expectations for yourself.
Right.
And yeah,
Yeah, you don't know what this ride is going to be like. You just
right,
don't know. As I said, it's individual to who you are. It's individual to who you've lost.
right,
The way that you may have experienced loss in the past may be different now for a myriad of reasons, to some of which I just mentioned. And just be kind to yourself. Look, I don't think that's not for me to say, and I understand for the employer, but giving 3 days for grief, bereavement, is such a small time. This process can last can last a long time. But I do think that it does get less painful over time. And if you get the support you need, it would help through this process. One of my favorite things to know and for people to do is to know that you're not alone. And one of the ways,
right,
there are these groups everywhere, these
right.
bereavement groups. I think they're wonderful because I ran them. I could see, but people
Yeah,
befriend each other. It's a way of being part of a community that understands how you're feeling. Because the truth
right.
is, and I know this from people, not people don't always understand what it's like to grieve until you're there in that
Yeah,
place. Even then, you grieve
yeah,
individually. So it
right.
really does help to be around people who are going through.
Yeah, yeah. But you feel the likeness there, and that this group can relate, or if you become friends with someone in particular in the group, that they can relate to what you're going through at the moment.
I've seen some
And
beautiful
that
friendships.
is so, yeah, yeah. And I could imagine that friendships, come out of this, and it's just so important when you feel like you're being heard and understood.
Oh, so important to be heard and validated.
Yeah,
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 I agree with
yeah.
you. I do.
So, so much more that we can talk about here. But we just hope that these nuggets are helpful, and always, you can reach out. We're here to help, as I said, and I just keep saying it because I really do feel, Jessica, that you are such a source of information, and so so much good information, and so with your years of experience as a licensed social worker and everything that you've done. This is so helpful, especially during the holidays where there's so much in addition going on. So,
Thank you. And thank you for your wise self as well, and your compassion and caring and helping me with these to spread out to help people.
my pleasure. Yeah, yeah. So please hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you. Bye,
Bye
everybody.
bye.